Get out!
Hello tankers and tankettes, and welcome to a slightly unusual sight. It's me and Circon in KV-1s. We normally play mostly high tiers on the stream, but on this particular day we were just doing all kinds of random tanks at different tiers, and the KV-1 happened to come up, and I thought, you know what, it's been a while since I played mine, so I jumped in, and the gun I've got, that's the 57mm gun. There is a lot of nostalgia for me in this replay. And it doesn't mean anything to anyone else, of course, but when I played the KV-1 the first time, and it was my first tier 5 heavy, I think my first heavy was actually the B1 on the French line, but I basically played the KV-1 almost exclusively with this gun, and I just loved this gun so much. And, you know, the 85mm which Circon is using is also a really good gun for a tier 5 heavy, but I don't know, there was something about the 57mm that I always loved, and I still like it a lot today. But when you're bottom tier, as in this match, it's not quite so effective. Depends what you're facing, of course, but for a lot of the tanks you're meeting, it does not work frontally. So as you can see, I've mostly got AP, a couple of rounds APCR for, you know, finishing shots against tough targets, but the 57mm premium ammo, and it's the same for the Churchill 3, or even the British 6-pounders generally, which are the exact same caliber. They're very expensive for the actual amount of damage that you get to do. So even before, I mean, this is going back a long way, but before the great what patch was it even? I don't know, when they bumped up the price of all the premium ammunition. It might have been at the time of the great heat nerf as well. It might have been around then. I don't know, what that puts it at 8 point something? I really can't remember. But yeah, it's never really been a gun to spam premium ammunition with, just because it is an incredibly expensive proposition. It's probably also the same reason I get along with the Churchill 3 very well, and look at this rate of fire. This is why you have to aim with this gun, but it's just pew pew pew. The Churchill 3 basically gets this gun as well, but with less accuracy, and it's not the same. I mean, it is a British 6-pounder gun, but like I said, it's the same caliber, it's got pretty much exactly the same penetration and damage characteristics. But the 57mm, the interesting thing about this gun is it's actually one of the most accurate guns the Russians get. Not the most accurate, there's about 3 or 4 guns that are more accurate. I think there's a couple of guns that are as accurate, 0.34 accuracy. But compared to a lot of the Russian tank guns, and especially Russian heavy tank guns, this is about the best as it gets in terms of being able to snipe things reliably. But it's not really a sniper gun, it's just, it's a pew-pew. It's a machine gun. It just punches people full of holes. And if you're top tier, it's hilarious. If you're bottom tier, it's a bit tougher, because there are plenty of tanks that can just resist your efforts at penetration. So there's a Stuart Emil, and I'm not angling this particularly well. Yeah, I take a shot to the front, of course it depends. I actually managed to bounce that one, that was a bit silly, and I'm going to pull back now just before he reloads. I don't want to take another hit like that, because that probably would kill me. So even though you're tier 5 in this situation, actually Sidescraping still would have been a smarter thing to do, because it's got, is it, I should know this, is it 75mm side armour? It's got pretty respectable side armour for a tier 5 heavy. It's the best side armour of any. Oh, low health. Yep. Well, that kill secure. So Sidescraping is always worth doing in a KV-1, and if you're doing, you know, if you're grinding up through the trees and you keep reading about, you know, or people keep talking about, what was this Sidescraping thing? The KV-1 is a really good tank to learn it with. I mean, you can do it with the French heavy as well, the B1 at tier 4, but I think the KV-1's the king. So this is the stage where, I mean, look at this, I'm actually bouncing this guy with 212 average pen. This is the stage where either the 85mm F30 or the derp gun, the U11, would have come in a lot more handy, because even though the AMX M445 doesn't have particularly great armour, it's still more than good enough to resist, you know, the frontal armour is more than good enough to resist my efforts at penetrating it. So I'm sidescraping off this wreck in front of me, and just hoping for some shots, and there we go, he's giving me his axle. I don't know why I zoomed out again there. there really wasn't any need, but I was a bit kind of, you know, I'm in a tier 5 heavy with half my health gone, and I'm facing off against a tier 7 heavy. I should try to track him again, and I do actually try, but I do actually manage to, but it's not really intentional. And instead of re-tracking him, which would have gotten me the kill, I instead go for his side armor, and then I bounce one, or it goes to his tracks or something, and he gets away with 97 health. I've punished him a bit though, and you can see that we've racked up 1,036. You know, that's not great, but it's not terrible considering the situation we're in. And I've just faced off against this AMX M4. I've tied him up. I've taken off a big chunk of his health. He is now a one-shot kill for anything else. Zircon, meanwhile, is dancing, there we go, with an ARL V39, who he's just killed. The AMX M4 seems to have backed off considerably. Zircon finishes him off as well. KV-1, too strong. I mean, bear in mind we're bottom tier. Bear in mind this is terrible matchmaking, but no. It's the power of, I don't even know, but we were just kicking butt in this game. So there we go, AFK, BDR, and yeah, Zircon has a bit of... This is where the comparison between the two guns is sort of like... I'm at 200 meters plus range, and I'm actually... Zircon's either missing or bouncing on that guy with his F30, and I'm actually managing to reliably hit that weak spot over and over again. So it's a good gun for that, reliably hitting weak spots. So I'm going to help this Tiger too, and again I should have side-scraped, and I kind of move into position to side-scrape, but it doesn't matter because the guy just hits me anyway. He's looking at the Tiger, he wants the easy kill, and bam, there we go. Kill number 3. Yeah, one of my kills was a cheap, you know, AFK, farm all the XP kill, but whatever. 1400 damage, I'm not going to complain. This is actually it as far as my battle goes in terms of the damage done. But, yeah, 87. Oh, he gets the Tiger, but I'm not going to pen the 87 unless I manage to get right round behind him. So the SU-85's got a better chance. I'm actually going to help Zircon here, who is, you know, it's an SU-152 and a T-25 too, and if the SU's got the derp gun. There's a Hellcat also there, and a T-49, so... You know, we outnumber them, we're low health, but we do outnumber them, and it's just a case of can I actually get there in time. You see their Zircon's actually doing some damage because they were facing the other way. Hellcat finishes off the SU. Can I get this guy? No, the T-49 gets him, so no more kills. But hey, 3 kills each, brothers in arms, on in a bottom tier battle when we're in tier 5 heavies. And bear in mind that I've, you know, got the 57mm gun, not the punchiest gun in the whole game. Yeah, no, not bad. And there we go. Just for the last little extra, you know, no brothers in arms, as it turns out, because Zircon dies. But he kills that 87 at exactly the same moment as the 87 kills him. So, GG. So that was a first class mastery, not quite enough XP for an ace, but we both, you know, first and second place on the team. And look at Zircon. Zircon kicked butt. He had 2,048 damage with 4 kills and 1,300 base XP. I had 1,783 damage with 3 kills and nearly 1,100 base XP. The KV-5, it's one of those tanks, and people go, oh, it's noob friendly. I don't know that it is. I think it's more forgiving than, say, some of the other tier 5 heavies. You could have certainly done that in a BDR, for instance, and you probably would have walked away with more damage in a BDR in exactly those set of circumstances. Although actually side-scraping against the AMX, come to think of it, you couldn't really do that in a BDR, so maybe not the exact same circumstances. But it scales up quite nicely, is my point, and it's got enough armor to cope with even some tier 7 tanks, as long as you're playing smart and not doing what I'm doing and showing my front to people. But yeah, it's a good tank, and I think my recommendation always is, if you're interested in trying out heavies with a bit of armor, if you're interested in learning how to angle and how to side scrape properly, the KV-1 is probably the tank to go and do it in, because it's got a nice set of everything. It's got a good selection of guns, and it actually has good selection. You can choose which gun you want to use. Most people go for the 85, but you can also use the derp or the 57mm. You've got enough armor to make everything work. You've got a pretty good turret actually for a tier 5 heavy. Enough mobility, just enough everything. So it's a good machine, and it's the one I'd say that I don't know, maybe noob friendly is the right word. Newbie friendly is probably the better thing to say there, because newbie implies that somebody's, you know, trying to get better, whereas a noob is somebody that really isn't trying to get better. They're just doing the same thing over and over again and not really asking themselves why it's failing over and over again. So there you go. It's a bit of nostalgia for me at least, but hopefully it was somewhat enjoyable for you guys in House of Watch as well. And if you did enjoy it, you can leave any comments below, you can hit the like button, you can subscribe to my channel, and as always, stay tuned for more.